Everywhere I go, I see people striving, hustling, and pushing themselves to the limit. And yet, so many feel stuck. Why? Because we've got this all wrong. We've been taught to measure our worth by how much we can achieve, how busy we are, and how many boxes we can check off a societal checklist. But that's not living, that's surviving. And survival, while necessary, isn't the goal. The goal is to thrive. Somewhere along the way, we bought into the idea that success is about the destination, a job title, a certain income, a house in the right neighborhood. But those things, they're fleeting. True success isn't about reaching a finish line, it's about how you run the race. It's about the purpose that drives you, the people you uplift, and the legacy you leave behind. We've been conditioned to compete, to outdo, to win at all costs. But the real magic happens when we come together. Collaboration builds bridges that competition could never cross. Community creates strength that no lone wolf could ever achieve. We chase speed, quick wins, and instant gratification, forgetting that the best things in life take time. Real change, real growth, and real fulfillment require patience and persistence. It's not about how fast you get there, it's about what you build along the way. Fear is what holds most of us back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But here's the truth, the only thing scarier than stepping into the unknown is staying exactly where you are, knowing deep down that you're capable of so much more. And here's the most important thing, we don't have to have all the answers. We just need to ask better questions. What if we stop chasing perfection and embrace progress? What if we replace judgment with curiosity? What if we gave ourselves and others the grace to grow? It's time to unlearn what's been holding us back. It's time to redefine what truly matters. It's time to remember that the only way to get it right is to start by admitting we've got this all wrong. And that's okay, because the moment we realize that is the moment we can begin to make it right. We've been taught to accept certain truths without question, as if they're etched in stone. From the moment we're old enough to understand, we're handed a roadmap: follow this path, achieve these milestones, and you'll be successful, happy, and fulfilled. But what if the map is flawed? What if the path leads to a destination that doesn't feel right, no matter how hard you try to convince yourself otherwise? Conventional wisdom often masquerades as certainty. It tells us to play it safe, stick to what's proven, and avoid risks at all costs. It convinces us that stability is more important than passion, that conformity is better than creativity, and that questioning the status quo is dangerous. But here's the truth: every breakthrough, every innovation, and every meaningful change in history came from someone who was willing to challenge those assumptions. Think about the moments that shaped the world. They didn't come from people who blindly followed the rules. They came from people who looked at the rules and said, "This isn't right. This isn't working. There has to be a better way." These people weren't fearless, they were human. But they were willing to embrace the discomfort of going against the grain because they understood that progress demands it. When we blindly follow conventional wisdom, we limit ourselves to what's already been done. We step into roles defined by others instead of carving out a space that reflects our true selves. We pursue goals that don't align with who we are, and then wonder why we feel empty when we achieve them. The problem isn't that we're failing, it's that we're succeeding at the wrong things. Challenging conventional wisdom doesn't mean rejecting everything outright. It means being willing to pause, reflect, and ask, is this serving me? Is this serving me? Is this serving others? Is this the best way forward? It's about recognizing that just because something has always been done a certain way doesn't mean it's the right way. It's about questioning, not for the sake of rebellion, but for the sake of growth. Most importantly, it's about understanding that the wisdom we truly need doesn't always come from external sources. It comes from within when we trust ourselves enough to question, to explore, and to create something better. We often define success as a formula: work hard, follow the rules, climb the ladder, and eventually you'll reach the top. It's a comforting idea, one that gives us a sense of control and predictability. But how often do we stop to ask ourselves, whose ladder am I climbing? And is the view from the top even one I want to see? The way we've been taught to think about success is deeply flawed. Society celebrates the visible markers, titles, accolades, material possessions, while overlooking the invisible battles we fight along the way. We're told that the more we accumulate, the more successful we are, but no one talks about the cost. The sleepless nights, the strained relationships, the feeling that no matter how much we achieve, it's never enough. True success isn't about ticking boxes on someone else's checklist. It's about alignment between what you do and who you are. It's about finding fulfillment in the process, not just the outcome. Yet we're so focused on arriving at some distant finish line that we forget to ask ourselves if the race is even worth running. What if success wasn't about being better than others, but about being better for others? What if it was less about how much you can take and more about how much you can give? The irony is that the things that truly define success, purpose, connection, and impact can't be measured or quantified. They're not things you can put on a resume or a trophy shelf, but they're the only things that really matter. We need to stop letting the world define what success looks like for us. The path to fulfillment isn't universal, it's deeply personal. It's not about where you end up, it's about how you feel when you get there. And if the journey doesn't light you up, then maybe it's time to redefine what you're chasing. Purpose is a word we hear often. But how many of us truly understand what it means? Too often we mistake purpose for a goal or a task, something tangible that we can achieve and cross off a list. But purpose isn't a destination, it's a direction. It's the compass that guides you, the reason you get out of bed in the morning. The problem is we've been taught to prioritize productivity over purpose. We focus on doing more, achieving more, and being more efficient. But without purpose, all the effort can feel hollow, like running a race without knowing why you're running in the first place. Purpose gives meaning to our actions. It's what transforms work into a calling and effort into passion. Yet, finding purpose doesn't come from looking outward, it comes from looking inward. It's not about what the world expects of you, but about what ignites something inside you. Too many of us live our lives according to a script written by someone else, chasing goals that don't align with who we are at our core. We aim to impress, to fit in, or to live up to expectations, and in the process we lose sight of what really matters to us. Purpose also doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It doesn't have to look like curing diseases or building empires. Purpose can be quiet and personal, showing up for the people you care about, using your talents to make a difference, or simply becoming the best version of yourself. It's less about what you do and more about why you do it. The truth is, when you're aligned with your purpose, everything else falls into place. Your energy, your focus, and your motivation all shift. Challenges become easier to face because you know what you're working toward. Purpose gives you resilience, it gives you clarity. And most importantly, it reminds you that life isn't just about getting through the day, it's about making the day count. We've been conditioned to see life as a competition, a constant battle to outdo, outperform, and outshine everyone around us. From an early age, we're taught that success is about being the best, standing out, and leaving others behind. But what if that mindset is all wrong? What if the real power lies not in competition, but in connection? When we view others as rivals, we close ourselves off from opportunities to collaborate and grow. We become so focused on winning that we miss the chance to learn from each other. We forget that the most significant achievements in history weren't made by individuals working in isolation, but by groups of people coming together, sharing ideas, and building something greater than themselves. Connection fosters innovation. When we collaborate, we combine perspectives, experiences, and strengths. We open ourselves up to solutions that we could never discover on our own. Competition, on the other hand, narrows our focus and encourages a scarcity mindset, believing that there's only so much success to go around, and if someone else gets it, there's less for us. But the truth is, success isn't a limited resource. There's room for all of us to thrive. Building connections also requires vulnerability, the willingness to admit that we don't have all the answers and that we can't do it all alone. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. When we connect with others, we create a support system that lifts us up when we fall and celebrates with us when we rise. We become stronger together than we could ever be apart. Instead of competing to be the best, what if we focused on bringing out the best in each other? What if, instead of stepping on others to climb higher, we lifted each other up? The truth is, collaboration isn't just a nice idea, it's the most effective path to real and lasting success. When we work together, we're not just adding to what we can achieve or multiplying it.I in today's world. We are obsessed with immediacy. We want results, and we want them now. We chase quick wins, instant gratification, and overnight success. But life doesn't work that way, not the kind of life that's truly meaningful anyway. The best things in life take time, yet we're so fixated on the short term that we lose sight of the long game. We've been conditioned to measure progress by how quickly we can see results. If something takes too long, we call it a failure. If we don't see immediate returns, we abandon it for the next shiny object. But the truth is, anything worth having, whether it's a fulfilling career, a meaningful relationship, or personal growth, requires patience and persistence. There are no shortcuts to building something real. Focusing on the long-term vision means being willing to delay gratification. It means planting seeds today that may not bear fruit for years. And that's hard. It's hard because the world celebrates instant success, and no one applauds you for putting in the work when the results aren't visible yet. But those who truly succeed understand that the process is just as important as the outcome. Long-term vision also requires resilience. There will be setbacks, detours, and moments when progress feels painfully slow. But those moments are part of the journey. They're the moments that teach you, shape you, and prepare you for what's ahead. Without them, you wouldn't grow. Without them, success wouldn't mean as much. It's not about how quickly you can get to the finish line, it's about what you build along the way. It's about the foundation you lay, the lessons you learn, and the impact you make. Real success isn't fleeting, it stands the test of time. And to achieve that, you have to think beyond the next step and focus on the bigger picture. For years, we've been chasing the idea that success is a destination, a place we'll arrive at once we've achieved enough, gained enough, or proven enough. We've turned it into a race where we measure ourselves against others and chase milestones that are supposed to define our worth. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Success isn't about the finish line, it's about the journey. It's not about what you've collected along the way, but about the person you've become. The accolades, the achievements, the applause, they're temporary. They fade. What remains is the impact you've had, the relationships you've built, and the legacy you leave behind. We've made success about the external, the things we can see, touch, and quantify. But true success is often invisible. It's in the decisions you make when no one is watching. It's in the courage to take risks, the resilience to keep going after setbacks, and the integrity to stay true to yourself, even when the easier path tempts you. And here's something we rarely acknowledge: success isn't solitary. It's not about standing above others or being the best in the room. It's about how you lift others up, how you collaborate, how you inspire those around you. The most meaningful success is shared. It's felt in the lives you touch and the moments you create with others. We've also misunderstood the timeline of success. It's not something you achieve at a certain age or stage in life. It's a lifelong process. Some of the most impactful people didn't see their greatest successes until much later in life. Success doesn't have a deadline. It's about continually growing, learning, and contributing, no matter where you are in your journey. True success isn't loud. It's not about recognition or validation from others. It's quiet. It's the sense of fulfillment you feel when you know you're living authentically, when you're aligned with your purpose, and when your actions reflect your values. And most importantly, success is deeply personal. It doesn't look the same for everyone. What matters is that it feels right to you, that it brings you joy and meaning. When we stop chasing someone else's definition of success and start creating our own, we find something far greater than we ever imagined. We've been taught to see success as a goalpost, a shiny reward waiting for us once we've worked hard enough, climbed high enough, or achieved enough. But the problem with this view is that the goalpost keeps moving. Every time we think we've arrived, there's another expectation, another milestone, another demand. And so we keep running, chasing something that never truly satisfies. The truth is, success isn't about chasing, it's about living. It's not some far-off destination, it's in the way we show up every single day. Success isn't defined by the size of your paycheck, the number of followers you have, or the awards on your shelf. It's about the moments when you live in alignment with your values, when you contribute something meaningful, when you make a difference even in small, unrecognized ways. Real success is found in the intangible. It's in the integrity of your decisions, the courage to take risks, and the willingness to embrace discomfort for the sake of growth. It's in the relationships you nurture, the love you give, and the impact you have on others. These are the things that don't show up on a resume but define the quality of your life. We've also misunderstood what it means to be successful in the face of failure. Failure has been painted as the opposite of success, but in reality, it's a part of it. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of failed attempts, lessons learned, and the strength to try again. Success isn't about never falling, it's about always getting back up. And let's not forget, success doesn't happen in isolation. It's not about standing at the top alone, it's about who you bring along with you. True success is shared, it's the ripple effect of your actions, the lives you touch, and the inspiration you offer to others. Success isn't about perfection either. It's not about being flawless or getting everything right. It's about progress, about moving forward with intention, and about giving your best even when the odds are stacked against you. Ultimately, success is personal. It's not about what others see in you, it's about what you feel within yourself. It's about the peace of knowing you're living a life that matters to you. When we redefine success this way, we stop chasing and start living, and that's when we truly begin to thrive. So let's stop for a moment and reflect. If the path we're on feels empty, if the goals we've been chasing leave us unfulfilled, maybe it's time to rewrite the story. Success isn't out there somewhere waiting for us, it's right here in the way we live, love, and contribute each day. We don't need to chase someone else's definition of success anymore. We can create our own, rooted in meaning, connection, and purpose. The question isn't, are you successful by their standards? The real question is, are you living a life that feels true to you? When you align your actions with your values, when you focus on impact over accolades, and when you choose progress over perfection, you'll find that success isn't something you achieve, it's something you become. And that changes everything.